Stop being so jealous, she said. After sitting on another guy's lap at a party, I said, I can't watch this, and left. She came home the next day to find me gone and a note. Not jealous anymore. Not your boyfriend either. Enjoy your games. My name's Ryan, and I met Brittany, my wife, back in her senior year of college. She was this vibrant, outgoing type, always the life of the party with a laugh that could light up a room. I was more the steady, reliable one, studying engineering while working part-time to pay my way. We clicked right away. She said I grounded her, made her feel safe in a world that felt chaotic. I fell hard, and for the first few years, it was good, really good. We had that honeymoon energy, the kind where everything feels electric and you can't imagine being apart. Weekend adventures to random places we'd find on a map, late night talks about the future, about kids, about where we'd live someday. She'd leave notes in my jacket pockets, little messages I'd find during work that would make me smile. I'd surprise her with her favorite takeout after a rough day, memorized her order at every restaurant we went to. We were that couple, the one friends would point to and say, those two have something real, something that's going to last. I believed it. She made me believe it. Her parents loved me, called me the son they never had. Her friends approved, said I was a good one, a keeper. Everyone in her life gave us their blessing. I thought I'd found my person, the one you build a life with, the one you grow old with. Looking back, maybe I was too invested too fast. Maybe I ignored things I shouldn't have. But when you're in it, you don't see the signs. You see what you want to see. After graduation, things got real in a different way. Brittany struggled to land a steady job. She'd get these short gigs, but nothing stuck. Freelance projects here and there, contract work that paid barely anything, unpaid internships that went nowhere. The creative industry is brutal when you're starting out. Everyone wants experience, but nobody wants to give it. I was the one holding it down. Got an entry-level position at an automotive firm, paying most of the rent on our tiny apartment while she job hunted. Covered utilities, groceries, everything. My paycheck basically supported both of us. I didn't mind. That's what you do for someone you love, right? You carry them when they need carrying. You pick up the slack. You believe in them when they can't believe in themselves. There were nights she'd come home frustrated, crying about another rejection, and I'd hold her. Tell her she was talented, that it'd turn around, that the right opportunity was coming. I'd make her dinner, run her a bath, whatever she needed to feel better. Sometimes we'd stay up late and I'd help her practice interview answers, polish her resume, research companies. I was her cheerleader, her support system, her foundation. I even turned down a promotion that would have meant relocating because she finally got an interview in our city, a real one, at a company she actually wanted to work for. The job would have been a big step up for me. More money, more responsibility, better title. My manager was disappointed when I declined, told me opportunities like that don't come around often, but Brittany needed me to stay. She said she couldn't do it without me, that my support was what kept her going. So I stayed. You're so sweet for staying, she'd say, kissing me. I was her hero. She told her friends, her family. Everyone knew how much I'd sacrificed, but looking back, maybe that was the first crack. I was always the one sacrificing, shaping my life around hers, bending my plans to fit her needs, and she was collecting those sacrifices like they were owed to her. As time went on, Brittany did land a job at a creative agency. It was entry level, but she thrived there. The energy matched her personality, networking like crazy. Suddenly, she was attending industry events, building connections. I was happy for her at first. She deserved a win after all those months of struggle. That's when the red flags started popping up. Subtle at first, easy to explain away if you tried hard enough. She'd go out for work events that turned into late nights, coming home giggling about some funny story from a coworker. Eyes lit up in a way they hadn't been in a while. Not from me, from whatever happened out there. The energy was different. She'd walk in the door buzzing, excited, full of stories about people I'd never met, adventures I wasn't part of. I'd ask casually who was there, just curious, just making conversation, and she'd roll her eyes. Not this again, Ryan. It's just networking. You need to trust me more. The tone shift was instant, defensive, like I'd accused her of something instead of just asking a question. Every time I asked, same reaction, same eye roll, same sigh, same lecture about trust. I'd back off telling myself I was being paranoid. After all, my last relationship ended because of my ex's actual cheating. Found out she'd been seeing someone behind my back for months, gaslit me the whole time, made me think I was crazy for suspecting anything. So maybe I had trust issues. Maybe I was projecting old wounds onto a new situation. Maybe I needed to work on myself. But the feeling didn't go away. That gut instinct, that whisper in the back of my mind. Then there were the social media posts. Pictures from these outings. Her arm around some guy's shoulder, captioned with inside jokes I didn't understand. Emojis and references to things that happened when I wasn't there. Comments from coworkers about how fun she was, how the office wouldn't be the same without her energy, how they loved having her around. I'd scroll through these posts late at night, trying to figure out who these people were, trying to understand the world she was building without me. Harmless fun, she'd say when I brought it up. You're reading too much into it. Lighten up, babe. It's just pictures. Everyone posts stuff like this. You're the only one making it weird. The only one with a problem. One guy kept showing up in those stories, over and over. Chad. He was a senior at her agency, had been there for years, knew everyone, connected to everything. The kind of dude who oozed charisma, flashy clothes that probably cost more than my car payment, designer stuff, always put together, always looking like he walked out of a magazine, always telling wild tales about his weekends, name dropping, humble bragging, talking about the parties he went to, the people he knew, the deals he closed, the whole package, the kind of guy who made you feel small just by standing next to him. Brittany swore he was just a friend, someone who got the creative side of things, someone who understood her industry, someone who could help her career. He's like a big brother, she'd insist, a mentor. He's teaching me how the industry works, how to navigate office politics, how to get ahead. You'd actually like him if you gave him a chance. He's really not that bad once you get to know him. I tried, went to a couple of her work events, shook his hand, made small talk, but every interaction felt off. The way he looked at her, the way she lit up around him, the inside jokes, the finishing each other's sentences. But I'd catch her texting him late at night, while we were supposed to be watching a movie together. Our time, our space, and there she was, smiling at her phone, laughing at his messages, completely checked out of our reality. I'd be sitting right there, right next to her, and she'd be somewhere else entirely. When I'd mention it felt off, she'd flip it back on me. Make it my problem, my flaw. Why are you so insecure? It's not like I'm hiding anything. My phone's right here. You can look at it if you want. Go ahead. If you can't handle me having guy friends, that's on you. Maybe you should work on your trust issues instead of making them my problem. I'd swallow it. Not wanting to be that guy. The controlling boyfriend everyone warns about. The one who can't let his girlfriend breathe. The one who drives her away with jealousy. Deep down, though, it gnawed at me, ate at me, kept me up at night. I was pouring everything into us, cooking dinners after long days at work, planning weekend getaways to keep the spark alive, remembering little details she mentioned, trying to be thoughtful, present, engaged, doing all the things the relationship advice said to do. And she was treating my concerns like they were annoying speed bumps, obstacles between her and the life she was building, a life that seemed increasingly separate from ours, a life where I was background noise. Things escalated slowly, like a pot simmering. You don't notice it getting hotter until it's too late. Brittany started prioritizing these networking events over our plans. Date nights got canceled. Weekends got claimed by work stuff. Our time together became whatever was left over after she'd done everything else she wanted to do. One time we had tickets to a concert I'd saved up for, a band we both loved, the soundtrack to our early days together, songs we'd sung in the car, songs that reminded me of falling in love with her. I'd planned the whole evening, nice dinner beforehand, good seats, the whole package. But she bailed last minute for a team-building happy hour. Some senior people were going to be there. FaceTime she couldn't miss. Career opportunity she had to take. It was important for my career, Ryan. You understand. You want me to succeed, don't you? We can do the concert thing another time. This is a one-time opportunity. She came home at 2 a.m. and brushed off my frustration like it was nothing. Like the concert didn't matter. Like our plans didn't matter. Like I didn't matter. I went to that concert alone. Sat there with an empty seat beside me. Watched the band play songs that used to mean something. And felt more alone than I'd ever felt in my life. Yeah, I wanted her to succeed. But I also wanted to feel like I mattered. Like I was more than just a roommate who paid the bills and waited around while she lived her other life. I'd lie awake those nights, staring at the ceiling, wondering if I was overreacting or if something was truly off, running through every interaction, every eye roll, every dismissed concern, every time she chose something else over me, trying to figure out if I was crazy or if my gut was onto something. Friends would say she's just extroverted, man. Don't sweat it. That's what you fell for. Her energy, her social nature. Don't push her away with jealousy. Don't be the guy who holds her back. So I'd try not to. Pushing down the doubt. Telling myself to be cool. Be secure. Be the bigger person. Be understanding. But the disrespect built up. Little comments about how I was too serious. Or not adventurous enough. Or how I never wanted to do anything fun. Jokes that didn't feel like jokes. Comparisons to other people who were more exciting. more spontaneous, more alive. Sometimes she'd say them in front of friends, make everyone laugh at my expense, then tell me I was being too sensitive when I didn't find it funny. It made me question myself. Was I boring? Was I holding her back? Was I the problem all along? Maybe she was right. Maybe I needed to change who I was to keep her happy. Maybe I needed to become someone else entirely. Cut to the night everything blew up. A mutual friend's house party. Dave had just gotten a promotion and wanted to celebrate. Good guy. Known him since college. The kind of friend who stays in your life through everything. It was one of those casual gatherings. Maybe 20 people. Music playing. People hanging out in the backyard and living room. Low-key vibe. Nothing crazy. Just friends catching up and celebrating. Brittany was excited. More excited than she'd been about anything we'd done together in months. Chad was going to be there, along with some other work folks. She'd mentioned it multiple times during the week. Talked about what she was going to wear. Did her makeup a little extra. Changed outfits 3 times before we left. I noticed. I noticed everything by that point. I wasn't thrilled, but I went along to support her. That's what a good boyfriend does. Shows up. Tries to be positive. Gives her the benefit of the doubt. We arrived together, and at first it was fine. Normal even. We mingled. Laughed with old friends. Caught up with people we hadn't seen in a while. She held my hand. Introduced me to her co-workers. Seemed proud to be with me. I started to relax. Maybe I'd been overreacting about everything. Maybe tonight would be different. Maybe we could reset. Find our way back to what we had. But as the night wore on, Brittany gravitated toward Chad's group. Slowly at first, then completely. They'd taken over the living room, playing these dumb party games. Truth or dare. Never have I ever. That kind of thing. College nostalgia stuff that somehow felt different when adults did it. I hung back, chatting with a buddy from my engineering days about work, about life, about the future, trying to stay out of the way, trying not to hover. I figured she was just being social, having fun with her work friends. I shouldn't crowd her. That would prove her point about me being too clingy, too jealous, too controlling. Then it happened. They started this lap-sitting challenge or whatever. Some silly rule where if you lost a round, you had to sit on someone's lap for the next one. Stupid party game logic. The kind of thing that's designed to create exactly this kind of situation. Brittany lost. On purpose, it seemed. Made a show of getting the answer wrong. Laughed about it. And then walked straight over to Chad. Plopped right down on his lap. Wrapping her arms around his neck while everyone cheered. Making herself comfortable. Like she belonged there. She was laughing hysterically. Head thrown back. Full body laughing. And Chad's hands were on her waist. Pulling her closer. Looking at me across the room while he did it. Smirking. Like it was a game. Like I was a joke. The room went fuzzy for me. Actually fuzzy. Like the start of a panic attack. My heart started racing. My vision narrowed. Everything went slow motion. It wasn't just jealousy. It was the public humiliation. The way she didn't even glance my way to see if I was okay. Didn't check my reaction. Didn't care. I was invisible. Irrelevant. A background character in her story. The guy she came with but didn't actually need. Friends shot me awkward looks from across the room. People I'd known for years. People who knew us as a couple. Like they knew it was crossing a line. Like they felt bad for me. One buddy actually winced. Looked away. Like he couldn't watch. I stood there, heart pounding, feeling like an idiot for ever thinking this was normal. Forever trusting her when my gut screamed otherwise. For ignoring every red flag because I loved her. That's when she noticed me staring. Finally. She said something to Chad. Got up slowly. Walked over to where I was standing. Still smiling. Still riding the high of all that attention. She pulled me aside into the kitchen. Away from the party. Still giggling a bit. Like this was going to be a quick conversation. Where she explained how I was wrong again. Can you not be so jealous? She asked. Her voice laced with annoyance. Like I was the one ruining the vibe. Like I was the problem. She crossed her arms, tilting her head as if she was explaining something obvious to a child. It's just a game, Ryan. Chad's like a brother to me. Everyone's laughing. Why do you have to make it weird? You're embarrassing us both with that look on your face. I stood there, the hum of the party muffled through the door, feeling the weight of her words sink in. Us. She said us, like she was more concerned about how it looked to Chad and her work friends than how it felt to me, the person who'd been supporting her for years. I kept my voice steady, even though my chest tightened. I'm not making it weird, Brittany. But if sitting on another guy's lap is your idea of a game, then yeah, it feels off. We've talked about this stuff before. We agreed on boundaries. This crosses them. She rolled her eyes, letting out an exaggerated sigh. Oh my God. Here we go again with the boundaries talk. It's harmless fun. Chad and I are just goofing around. Everyone else thinks it's funny. You're always so uptight about everything. If you can't handle a little playfulness at a party, maybe that's your problem. She was reloading. Remember last month at the bar? You got all quiet when I danced with that group. Same vibe, same pouty face. It's like you don't trust me at all. After 3 years. That's exhausting, Ryan. Trust isn't the issue, I said calmly. Though inside I was replaying every time she dismissed me like this. Every eye roll, every sigh, every accusation. It's respect. You knew that bothered me. We talked about it. You agreed it made sense. And you did it anyway. Right in front of everyone. How would you feel if I did the same with one of your friends? She laughed. A sharp, dismissive sound that cut deeper than I expected. Please, Ryan. If you sat on some girl's lap, I'd probably cheer you on. That's what secure people do. Lighten up. Life's too short to be so possessive. Chad gets it. He's adventurous, spontaneous. That's why these games are fun. That's why people enjoy being around him. She tilted her head. You're reading way too much into it because of your trust issues from your ex. You're projecting. I mean, come on. It's not like I kissed him or anything. It's not like we hooked up. It was a party game. You're making a scene over nothing. I stared at her. The woman I'd sacrificed for, supported through hard times, turned down promotions for, built my life around. And in that moment, I saw her clearly. Not the charming person I'd fallen for, but someone who'd never really respected me, who'd never seen my sacrifices as anything but expected, who'd never once asked what I needed. I took a breath, nodded slowly. You're right about one thing. I can't watch this anymore. I turned and walked back through the party. She called after me, annoyed rather than concerned. Where are you going? Ryan, you're being ridiculous. Ryan? Are you serious right now? I didn't look back, grabbed my jacket and headed out. Didn't say goodbye to anyone. Didn't care what it looked like. Just needed to get out of there. Get away from the noise. From her. From all of it. The night air hit my face. Cool. Quiet. Real. The silence in the car was deafening, but also peaceful. No music. No podcasts. Just my thoughts and the hum of the engine. I drove home on autopilot. Roads I knew by heart. By the time I pulled into our apartment complex, a weird calm had settled over me. Not anger. Not sadness. Not the explosion of emotion I expected to feel. Just clarity. Crystal clear understanding of what needed to happen next. 3 years. I'd given her 3 years of my life. Sacrificed promotions, opportunities, peace of mind. All for someone who couldn't even respect me in public. Who couldn't keep her hands off another man while I watched. I didn't sleep that night. Couldn't if I wanted to. Instead, I spent the hours packing my stuff. Methodically. Quietly. Like I was performing surgery. Clothes into boxes I grabbed from the building's storage area. Books off the shelves. Photos of us taken down and left in a pile. All my personal items separated from the shared things. 3 years of accumulated life, sorted and boxed in a single night. I was efficient, focused, running on something deeper than adrenaline. Some survival instinct that kicked in when everything else shut down. By dawn, I'd loaded everything into my car and a storage unit I'd rented online during the night. Found one that was open 24 hours. Made 3 trips back and forth while the world slept, while she was still at that party, or wherever she ended up after. The apartment looked hollow when I finished. Empty shelves, gaps where my stuff used to be. Her stuff remained untouched, but my presence had been surgically removed, like I'd never existed there at all. I sat at the kitchen counter, exhausted but wired. Thought about what to write. Thought about all the things I could say. All the explanations. All the accusations. All the pain I could try to put into words. But what was the point? I wrote a note. Kept it simple. Not jealous anymore. Not your boyfriend either. Enjoy your games. I placed it where she'd see it. Center of the counter. Couldn't miss it. Left my key beside it. The key to the apartment I'd been paying for. The life I'd been building for us. And walked out. The door clicking shut felt like the end of a chapter I should have closed long ago. A weight lifting. A prison door opening. Whatever metaphor fits. I was free. The next few weeks were a blur of logistics and adjustment. No playbook for rebuilding your life after something like that. You just figure it out as you go. Crashed at a buddy's place while searching for my own apartment. Found a decent spot on the other side of the city. Far enough that running into her was unlikely. Fresh start in a new neighborhood. Work became my anchor. Threw myself into projects, stayed late, kept my mind occupied with problems I could actually solve. The guys at work could tell something had gone down, but they respected my space. When I was ready to talk, they all agreed I'd made the right call. About 2 weeks after I left, I heard through mutual friends that Brittany's work situation had gotten messy. Turns out her relationship with Chad wasn't quite as brotherly as she'd claimed. Rumors spread through the office about them being too close. Someone saw them getting handsy at a work event. A co-worker spotted what looked like a kiss outside a restaurant. The whispers started circulating. Management noticed. Her reputation took a hit. People viewed her as unprofessional. The creative industry is small. Gossip travels fast. People who liked her a month ago now avoided eye contact. Chad handled it exactly how you'd expect. When the heat came down, he distanced himself immediately, acted like Brittany was some clingy coworker who'd gotten the wrong idea, threw her under the bus without hesitation, protected himself, blamed her. But here's the kicker. Chad had a girlfriend in a different city. They'd been together for years. 4 years. Talking about engagement. When that surfaced through social media investigation by curious coworkers, Brittany looked even worse. She'd been played by a guy who was just enjoying the attention until it became inconvenient. A guy who had someone else the whole time. And she'd torched our relationship for him. She got demoted, moved from a creative position to something administrative. Dead-end stuff, no growth path. The transfer she'd been working toward evaporated overnight. People who'd been friendly suddenly avoided her in meetings. Hearing about this didn't bring me joy exactly. I'm not that kind of person. But it confirmed what I knew. The situation had been rotten. Getting out was the only smart move. I focused on my own life, kept building momentum. It was satisfying in a quiet way, but I didn't dwell. Life was moving forward without her input. About a month after the breakup, Brittany started reaching out. I'd unblocked her by then, figuring I could handle it without reacting. The initial texts were casual, testing the waters. Hey Ryan, hope you're doing okay. That note was harsh, but I get why you're upset. It was just a dumb game at the party. Nothing happened with Chad. I swear. Can we talk? I miss our conversations. I miss us. I didn't respond. What was there to say? She'd made her choice clear. A few days later, the tone shifted. Apologetic with a hint of manipulation. Ryan, please answer. I know I messed up. Sitting on his lap was stupid. But you know how I get in social situations. I get caught up. It's not like we hooked up or anything. You're blowing this out of proportion because of your jealousy issues. Remember how we always worked through stuff? We were good at that. Let's grab coffee and fix this. Still nothing from me. That's when her friends and family got involved. Toxic as expected. Her best friend Megan, who'd been at the party and laughed along with everyone else, texted me out of nowhere. Dude, Brittany is a wreck. You're being childish, ghosting her like this. She made one mistake at a party. She deserves a chance to explain. Man up and talk to her. Then her mom called, left a voicemail guilting me about how I'd abandoned Brittany during a tough time at work, how she expected better from me, as if I owed them anything after the humiliation. By the 2-month mark, Brittany's messages turned more frantic. Voicemails now. Her voice cracking. Ryan, pick up. Chad was a mistake. He's seeing someone else already. Like I meant nothing to him. And work's falling apart because of the rumors. Everyone's whispering. I got demoted. Okay? Happy now? I need you. We were good together. You always knew how to calm me down. Please just call back. I can't do this alone. I listened, but it didn't move me. Her need felt like code for wanting her safety net back. The reliable guy who handled hard stuff while she chased excitement. The anger crept in after another week of silence from me. A string of texts one night. How dare you ignore me like this? After everything I put up with, your boring routines, your constant nagging about trust, your inability to just relax. Fine, be petty, but you're going to regret this when I'm back on my feet. Chad was right. You're too insecure for anyone. That one almost made me laugh. Chad was right. The guy who'd used her and bounced, who had another girlfriend the whole time. It revealed her true colors. Lashing out when she couldn't control the narrative. Her family doubled down. Her sister emailed me. Unpleasant and demanding. Brittany is family, and you're treating her like trash. She made one mistake. Get over yourself and take her back before she really moves on. You'll regret losing her. As if threats would work. As if I'd respond to pressure from people who'd enabled her behavior the whole time. The peak came around month 3. A surprise visit to my new apartment. The moment everything came to a head for the last time. I'd just gotten home from the gym when there was banging on the door. Not knocking. Banging. Urgent. Demanding. The kind of pounding that makes your heart rate spike before you even know who's on the other side. Opened it to find her standing there in the hallway. Eyes red and swollen from crying. Makeup smeared across her face. Looking desperate in a way I'd never seen from her before. Like someone at the end of their rope. Like someone who'd finally hit the wall she'd been speeding toward. Ryan. Thank God you're here. Thank God. Let me in. Please. We need to talk. She pushed past me before I could respond. Didn't wait for permission. Didn't wait for an invitation. Just barged into my space like she still had a right to be there. Like nothing had changed. She paced the living room. Restless. Agitated. Glancing around at everything. Taking inventory of what I'd built without her. The new furniture. The pictures on the walls. The general sense of peace that came from living alone. This place is nice, she admitted, reluctantly, but it's not us. It's not our home. It doesn't feel right without both of us in it. Look, I've changed. I really have. That night was so stupid. I was feeling trapped in our routine, bored with the same patterns, looking for something exciting in the wrong places. Chad meant nothing to me, less than nothing. He dumped me like I was yesterday's news the second things got complicated anyway. Moved on without looking back. She turned to face me directly, her voice cracking with emotion. Work's a complete nightmare now. Everyone there knows what happened. They whisper when I walk by. I got moved to a different department, basically sidelined into irrelevance. My career is over at that company. Her voice got smaller, more vulnerable. I'm broke, Ryan. Actually broke. Can barely cover rent. Credit cards maxed. I had to borrow money from my parents just to pay utilities last month. I'm completely isolated from everyone I thought were my friends. They ditched me the second they heard your side of things. Left me to deal with everything alone. She paused. Took a breath. Please, let's try again. Remember our good times? The hiking trips. The weekend road trips to nowhere. The concerts. The way we used to laugh at the same stupid jokes for hours. I miss that. I miss us. I need you back in my life. I stayed calm through her entire monologue, leaning against the kitchen counter, arms crossed, no invitation to sit down, no offer of water or hospitality. She wasn't a guest. She'd lost that privilege. Brittany, there's nothing to try here. You chose your games. You made that choice publicly, in front of everyone we knew. Can't take that back. She stepped closer to me, voice rising with frustration that she couldn't contain anymore. Chose? You left me over nothing. If you'd just loosened up for once, if you'd just been less jealous about everything, less paranoid, less controlling, none of this would have happened. You're punishing me for one slip up, one mistake at one party. I deserve better than this cold shoulder after 3 years together. Deserve, I echoed, using her own word against her, without anger, just stating facts. You spent months telling me I was too uptight, too jealous, too possessive, too boring, not spontaneous enough, not exciting enough. Remember all those comments? I let it sink in. Turns out I just had standards for how I expected to be treated. Basic standards. And now you're standing in my apartment because all your other choices blew up. But that's not my problem to solve anymore. I'm not your safety net. She teared up immediately, switching tactics to pleading. Ryan, please don't be like this. I love you. I always have. Even when I wasn't showing it right. Give us another shot. I'll cut out the parties, the flirting, the networking events. Whatever boundaries you need, I'll follow them. Just tell me what you want. I shook my head. Slow, firm, final. No, I'm done with this. She snapped then, anger flashing hot across her face. When manipulation failed, all that was left was rage. Fine, stay here alone. You'll never find someone like me. You'll realize what you lost, and I won't be available when you come crawling back. She stormed out, slammed the door hard enough to rattle the frame, hard enough that my neighbor down the hall probably heard. That was her true self, the mask completely off, entitled, volatile when cornered, unable to accept responsibility for anything. When pleading didn't work, when tears didn't work, when manipulation didn't work, all that was left was rage. And it confirmed every instinct that told me to leave that night. The final nail came at our mutual friend Dave's wedding, 5 months post-breakup. Dave had been my friend longer than I'd known her, since freshman year of college. No way I was missing his wedding just to avoid an uncomfortable moment. It was a garden ceremony, elegant and low-key. Beautiful venue outside the city. The kind of wedding you remember because everything felt genuine, not showy. Just two people in love, celebrating with the people who mattered. I'd RSVP'd yes weeks earlier, knowing she might be there, knowing it could be awkward. But I wasn't hiding from my own social circle, wasn't letting her control my life even from a distance. Showed up with Hannah, a woman I'd met through work a couple months earlier. Engineer at a partner firm we collaborated with on projects. We met during a joint meeting, started talking, then coffee, then dinner, then more dinners. She was smart, genuinely intelligent in a way that showed without needing to prove it. Respectful, secure, no games, no drama, no test to see if I was paying attention. We were hitting it off naturally. Nothing forced, nothing manufactured, just two adults who enjoyed each other's company and communicated like normal people. What a revolutionary concept. The ceremony was beautiful. Dave looked happy, happier than I'd seen him in years. His bride was perfect for him, the kind of match you can see working out for decades. Then came the reception, and the moment I knew was probably coming. Brittany spotted me from across the venue. I could feel her eyes on me before I turned around. That prickle on the back of your neck when someone's watching. When I finally looked, she was already weaving through tables to corner us. Moving with purpose. Determination. The look of someone who'd been waiting for this moment. She looked rough, thinner than I remembered. Not healthy thin, stressed thin. The weight loss that comes from anxiety and sleepless nights. Her smile was forced, didn't reach her eyes. The dress she'd chosen was a bit too flashy for the occasion, too short, too sparkly, like she was trying to prove something to someone. Guests whispered as she approached our table, heads turning, conversations pausing. The fallout from her office scandal had spread through our entire friend circle by this point. Everyone knew the story, or some version of it. Ryan, she said, voice shaky but trying hard for composure, trying to seem calm and collected when she was clearly neither. Can we talk privately? Just for a minute? Hannah glanced at me, a question in her eyes, but I stayed seated, kept my body language relaxed, calm. No need, Brittany. We're good here. She ignored Hannah completely, like she wasn't even sitting there, like my date didn't exist. The disrespect was automatic, natural. She probably didn't even realize she was doing it. Desperation cracking through her composure now. Please, you have to hear me out. I've hit complete rock bottom since you left. Lost the job transfer I'd been working toward for a year. Got demoted to basically nothing. Had to move out of my apartment. I'm crashing with my parents now. 27 years old and back in my childhood bedroom. Everything fell apart. She paused, collecting herself, eyes watering. Chad's a complete jerk. Worse than a jerk. He spread lies about me to protect himself. Told everyone I was the one who pursued him, who wouldn't take no for an answer. Everyone at the office sees through him now. But the damage to my reputation is done. I can't undo it. Another pause. The desperation reaching its peak. I was wrong. Okay? Wrong about everything. About him. About you. About us. Take me back. We can start over from scratch. I'll prove I've changed. I'll prove I can be the person you deserve. Her eyes darted to Hannah, then back to me. The power flip was obvious to everyone watching. I met her gaze. Calm. Indifferent. You said I was holding you back, remember? Too predictable. Too boring. Well, I've moved forward. I gestured to Hannah. To the wedding around us. This is my reality now. You're not part of it. She blinked, tears welling. But I thought we had something real. Had, I corrected, turning back to Hannah, past tense. Brittany stood there another moment, humiliated as heads turned. Then she fled the reception, heels clicking on the stone path. Gone. No chase from me. The rest of the wedding was great. Good food, good music, good people. Dave came over later and apologized for the scene. I told him not to worry about it. Not his fault. The months after sealed everything. I blocked her on every platform. No loose ends. Changed my number when she tried calling from different phones. Had to explain to my landlord not to let anyone in who wasn't on my approved list. She showed up at my building twice before she finally got the message. Got promoted at work 3 months later. More money, more travel, more responsibility. The career I'd put on hold for 3 years finally took off. My manager pulled me aside. Said he'd been waiting for me to get my personal life sorted. Said he always knew I had potential, just needed to focus. Bought a new car, cash, no financing. Started looking at houses in a better neighborhood. Put together a real savings account for the first time since college. Hannah and I moved in together 8 months after we started dating. Found a place with a spare room for a home office. Split everything 50-50. No arguments about money. No passive-aggressive comments about who paid for what. She met my parents over Thanksgiving. They loved her immediately. My mom pulled me aside in the kitchen. Said this one's different. Said she could tell I was actually happy. Not performing happy. Actually happy. I met Hannah's family at Christmas. Her dad grilled me about my job, my plans, my intentions. Standard dad stuff. Shook my hand at the end of the night. Said welcome to the family. Meant it. We talked about the future. Real future. Kids. Houses. Retirement plans. Normal adult conversations that didn't feel like walking through a minefield. Mutual friends cut ties with Brittany one by one over the following months. Dave told me she tried to crash another party. Got asked to leave. Made a scene in the parking lot. Screamed at people. Had to be escorted out. Classic Brittany. Always someone else's fault. Her best friend Megan stopped returning her calls after Brittany borrowed $500 and ghosted her. The same Megan who texted me about being childish. Funny how that worked out. Her sister stopped defending her after Brittany borrowed money from their parents and blew it on some trip with a new guy. Never paid it back. Made excuses. Blamed their mom for being too controlling with finances. Even her mom started making excuses for why Brittany couldn't visit for holidays. Too busy? Too far? Too complicated? The family that circled wagons for her finally got tired of being her safety net. Chad made it official with his long-distance girlfriend 6 months after everything went down. The one he'd been hiding the whole time. Posted the engagement all over social media. Brittany apparently lost it. Drunk texted half the office about what a liar he was. HR got involved. She resigned before they could fire her. Last update came from a college friend about 6 months ago. Ran into Brittany at a grocery store across town. Said she looked tired, worn down, working some retail job, cashier or something, living with a new boyfriend who sounded exactly like Chad. Different name, same type, flashy, charming, probably hiding something, the pattern repeating. Some people never learn. Meanwhile, Hannah and I got engaged last spring. I proposed at the same restaurant where we had our first real date. She said yes before I finished asking. We're planning a small ceremony for next fall. Nothing fancy, just the people who actually matter. Her ring cost more than 3 months of rent at my old apartment. The one I shared with Brittany, the one I walked out of with nothing but boxes and a note. Not jealous anymore. Not your boyfriend either. Enjoy your games. Best note I ever wrote. I ran into Dave last week. He told me Brittany's been asking mutual friends about me. Wants to know if I'm really engaged, if I'm really happy, if I ever talk about her. I don't. She's not even a memory I visit anymore. Just a lesson I learned. A chapter that ended the moment I walked out of that party and chose myself. I'm not bitter. Just moved on. Built something real with someone who actually respects me. Someone who'd never sit on another guy's lap at a party and then ask why I'm being so jealous. If any of this sounds familiar to your situation, here's what I'll say. Trust your gut. Walk away clean. Don't look back. You'll be fine. Better than fine. That's my story. Guys, we are so close to hit 100,000 subscribers on this channel. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. It really helps hit that 100,000 mark. Thanks for making this dream come true.